Hello, everyone. Now that I'm familiar with Outriders, I do want to give my thoughts on whether or not it's really worth the money. Before I get into that, though, I want to talk about some other things, starting with the mic volume. In my last recording, I received a polite request to up my mic volume, so I am doing that by 4%. There is a very specific reason that I am concerned with upping my mic volume. It's because I'm in a very large room with hardwood flooring. I am concerned that there would be some sort of reverberation and or echo. That's why I don't up it too much. Now, another thing too is I always check my recordings before I publish them. That's how I get the timestamps. So if I can't hear myself or if I think that it's not of quality, I'm not going to publish it. I'm not that kind of person. So, I haven't seen any issues, but if it really is an issue for other people, I will happily up the mic volume, but I don't want to do it too much. So let me know if this is a good enough volume for you, and if it is, I'll stay there. The last thing I want to do before I get into my thoughts on the game is just a quick recap. If people really are having an issue hearing me from my last recording, then I'll just briefly go over what I was saying. I was saying that with my Trickster build, I realized that you could actually use Borrowed Time instead of Hunt the Prey. Borrowed Time gives you firepower if you mod it right, so you could certainly use that for picking off enemies at a distance, combining that with, of course, Twisted Rounds. It'd be a great way of picking off enemies before you jump in, if you even really have to do so. But yeah, I was saying that you could do that. I was also saying that you could change one of your weapons to an LMG if you really want to. LMGs have 50-meter range, which is more than the tactical SMG or AR. The last thing I was saying with the Trickster build is you can change the equilibrium node, which is this one up here. This really only shaves a second off of Borrowed Time or Hunt the Prey, which is kind of life-saving in certain circumstances once you start combining it with the mods for cooldown, because the mods for the cooldown also can do it by about a second. Well, I mean, both are going to be a little over a second, but close enough. So, you know, once you stack 2 seconds to it, really 2 seconds is kind of life-saving in certain circumstances. So, either way, you could certainly switch it to more health, right there, or you could switch it to critical if you really want to. It's up to you. Okay, that's the Trickster build. Let me just do a quick recap for the Technomancer, which was also in the recording. So I was saying that this is how I would do the build. I don't see a point in going full Tech Shaman, even though I have seen a build for Tech Shaman, and I did link it in the description. I don't agree with that, but I mean, play it how you want to. It certainly works, as the video showed. But in my opinion, it's better just to go up after getting the Gadgeteer nodes. The whole point is to get some support on this build between the heal and the markings. But yeah, so you get support in addition to damage is essentially where I was going with this build. It's a really straightforward and easy build to follow. So, with a recap out of the way and mic stuff, let me go and get into what I think about Outriders. I think I said this in one of my prior recordings, but I am a hard customer. To be fair, I played a lot of games, and I played games that were from a time of quality. I really feel like the quality of games has slipped a lot in the last 10 years or so. It seems more acceptable now to launch games that aren't ready. It seems more acceptable to launch games into early access and stuff like that, and I really hate that. So I don't feel like Outriders is of quality, and I'll get into the positives and negatives. Okay, so positives. I think it's cool that there's crossplay with co-op. I know it's starting to become a standard for games, but not every game has crossplay, so it is nice to see. I do appreciate that not all classes are restricted to doing one thing. Normally, for a lot of games, classes are restricted to doing one thing, like casting, melee, whatever. but it's really cool to see that they give you the option to do gun builds on literally all of them. So that's awesome, because then it gives you a different way of either approaching the builds or handling how you get through the campaign. Because with the free respec, you can just do a gun build and then immediately move into your tier 15 build when you're ready. That's pretty awesome to see. I would say weapon variety is also a positive. I do like that there's different weapons, although they probably do need some love to really make it good. Because like the marksman rifle, for example, that's not really a great weapon in its current state. That would certainly need to be changed in a couple different ways. But other than that, the variety is perfectly great. So that's really all the positives I have. So for the negatives, I have ran into a lot of disconnects or signal loss. I have noticed that when the game crashes, and maybe it's just specific to AMD Radeon video cards that are older, because mine's an RX 480, when it crashes, I'll get the no signal on my monitor, and I'll plug in the HDMI to another port to try to fix the issue, but it doesn't fix the issue. It's literally all ports are just gone when it crashes like that. So I don't appreciate that. It's the first time that I've ever seen this happen with a Radeon video card, so I'm at a loss as to how to really fix it. And I can't find anything in Google, so it's kind of annoying that there is a crash that I just literally can't deal with other than just having to reset the entire computer. The disconnects are pretty frequent too. This is another thing that I've been saying for a long time. If you're going to make a game with a campaign element, make sure you have the option to play offline, because seriously, it's annoying to go through a mission and work so hard to get to the end and then boom, disconnect. All progress lost. That is so frustrating. If you don't want to play online, give them the option to do that. I shouldn't have to be forced to be online at all times to do the damn campaign. So there's also that. I would say another gripe of mine is to do with the mechanics. I understand that not every game is going to have clear mechanics, because people want, some mystery to, I guess, figure out. But there are certain mechanics that I feel are vital to know, and no amount of testing will be able to truly confirm that. So, for example, like the critical chance cap, there's no real good way to confirm that. So I do expect at least some clarification for that in any game. Outriders is no exception. But really, other than that, I would say that's all I can say on this game. So do I think it's worth $60? No. Not in its current state, with all the disconnect crashes and other things. I would say if this game is on sale, I would totally recommend it. But at $60, I wouldn't. That's just my take on it, though. Everybody's different. But I would be interested to hear what you think. So please get up in the comments if you think differently of Outriders, or if you just want to let me know if my mic volume is finally fine. Thanks for listening.